third negative test in a row.
Yay! Hooray! And Jody Hamilton, your lover, had her second negative test today, so very exciting.
I know. My heart is aflame with her absence.
Yes, I know. She will be calling in just a bit.
Yes, I know. You're keeping us apart.
I know.
You can't keep us apart. Our love is too strong.
We can, if you want Jody, we can give you Jody.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No matter what occurs, you will find her.
Chris has a button for it.
Yeah. All right. Listen, you said of Lindsey Graham threatening riots, you said, Jesus, these guys are worse at being mobsters than they are at being politicians. I mean,
Lindsey Graham is your wartime consigliere?
Right.
Give me a break.
Right.
You know? There's no more ridiculous human being in American politics than Lindsey Graham.
Yes.
It would make sense to have him as your wartime consigliere for a civil war.
Yeah. Well,
No. Yeah. I mean, South Carolina produced some actual soldiers in that Civil War, and he ain't one of them.
Plus the whole, we're going to riot. Okay, well then more people are going to go to jail. Like, oh, you're going to riot. Well, again, then you're going to be arrested. It's like
five guys with AR-15s are going to get off the subway somewhere and get arrested before they hit the sidewalk.
Right. Charlie, you tweeted, am I wrong to wonder if this New York Times story about the betrayal of overseas intelligence assets was timed in light of other events? Curious what you meant by that.
Oh, I don't know, Steph. I'm just wondering if the CIA was sending the former president kind of a message.
Well, this is what I'm wondering. It's like, how many shoes are there to drop? We have a CIA report that a lot of...
I stopped asking that question in 2016.
Yeah.
Because you just assume an infinite supply of shoes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, or feet, or whatever.
Let me just say, I'm in the club of it is not a coincidence that the very intelligence that Donald Trump happened to steal are the sources that have been getting captured and killed. I'm just going to say it's not a coincidence, but...
Yeah, but he's also passing around Macron's sex life.
Yes.
But
yes.
If he
how much you want to bet
if he wants to send that to me, I'm not going to turn it down.
But how much you want to bet that was for Le Pen? You're absolutely right, Charlie. You can almost like...
Oh, that's a good point, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, we have secrets you can use.
Right. So, I don't know. We just read...
Our mutual friend Vlad told me to share them with you.
We were talking about with our friend Malcolm in Ukraine. Mm-hmm. Like, what is he sharing or has shared with Vladimir Putin, whose side he has always been on against Ukraine or anyone else, including us?
But what really is making me wonder making me begin to think this is a lot more serious than it would appear to have been at the start is the fact that the entire Republican Party is completely losing its mind.
Yeah.
It does not know where to turn. It doesn't know what to say. It doesn't know where to move. It's being completely wrong-footed by these events because none of them know.
Well, you were saying off air that Chairman Harrison was great this morning, but you said it also helps that the other party is completely losing their minds. I mean, that's true.
Really? I mean, they've got a collection of Senate candidates you wouldn't trust to wash your car. They've got, a golden opportunity to get a real majority in the House that's going a glimmering because they can't keep from nominating nuts. The president is on a terrific winning streak. And if Tim Ryan and Cortez Masto want to, run against the student loan forgiveness, I got no problem with that. If that's what they think it'll take to pad the Senate majority, fine. They can't do anything about it anyway.
Right. Well, but I don't know if you've seen...
I'm drowning in now stories about how Democrats don't want the president to campaign for them, and some Democrats are really opposed to this sort of thing. It's the old Dems in disarray thing, but it doesn't work anymore because we know where the disarray is.
Right. Well,
and it's Newt Gingrich Newt Gingrich. Whoa, excuse me. Mitch McConnell wandering around the Capitol looking like a combination of a turtle and a basset hound.
Yeah.
Seeing everything you hope for go by the boards.
And also, I haven't heard anything. This is now the second, what is it? Not tweet, Trump, whatever it is, that he wants to be named the winner of the 2020 election or a redo. And I don't think Republicans know what to say anymore. No, none of them have commented on this at all because we're way past crazy town.
Yeah, and a lot of the usual suspects have gone radio silent on the Mar-a-Lago documents too.
Yeah,
and the January 6th committee is warming up in the bullpen again for another month of great TV.
Yeah, But I loved what you said. What happens when an entire party reorients around a central delusion? We're going to find out. You said it's going to take decades of excavation to dig out the crazy in our politics. If it weren't so entrenched in conservative politics already, the previous president wouldn't have found it so easy to anchor himself in the past, present, and especially future of the Republican Party. It's clear that expressing the unfactual conviction the 2020 election was rigged to defeat the previous president as enthusiastically as possible is the best possible career move for a Republican politician. I hadn't even heard of this crackpot from Minnesota till you, Kim Crockett, Secretary of State candidate. She said, this is our 9/11. And you said, don't try to figure out how the cleanest, most scrutinized presidential election in history compares to a terrorist attack that killed 3,000 people. That way lies madness. I'm also pretty sure that our actual 9/11 was our 9/11.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. Right. But she was saying the 2020 election.
Yeah, I mean, in New Hampshire, where Maggie Hassan is considerably vulnerable. I mean, she didn't win by very much anyway. They're going to probably nominate this retired general, Don Bolduc, who's, he's somehow went completely off the trolley after doing some really good work on Veterans Affairs, and now is a complete election denier. Plus, he called Governor Chris Sununu a possible Chinese communist agent. And he's going to get the Republican nomination for Senate, and he's going to lose to Maggie Hassan, who probably shouldn't hold on to her seat.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't stop themselves anymore. They can't stop these people from being nominated. So either the Republican Party at the state level goes back to the smoke-filled rooms and doesn't hold primaries anymore.
Yeah.
That's the only solution I can see to this problem.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, you wrote a piece, same thing I said yesterday, said the unsealed affidavit was fun, but let's not forget the whole coup thing. I'm like, because he keeps committing worse crimes, we're not going to forget the last one, right? Well,
no, but we do have this one to have tied us, to tide us over between public hearings. So that was nice. No, August is usually a really dead news month.
Right. You were drawn to the one passage that was unredacted. There's probable cause to believe evidence of obstruction will be found at the premises. The indications that they contained human source intelligence, intercepts from FISA, signals intelligence, as well as other tags indicating high sensitivity. Several of those tightly controlled documents contain Trump's handwritten notes. And you just said, did he bring the Sharpie of MAGA into play? The one that can move hurricanes? Boy, we're in a whole different ballgame now. I was saying yesterday, that's the whole, I guess we're done with the FBI planted documents that happen to have his handwritten notes on. So
that they took that one out for a test drive and didn't like the way it handled. Now it apparently is somewhere between these things weren't that important anyway and between that and what about Hillary's server?
Right.
That's all we've got left.
Yeah.
Because again, as I said before, none of them know what's really in those boxes.
Right.
So none of them want to go out on a limb and defend him on the merits. So they've got to concoct something.
Yeah.
Hunter Biden's laptop and Hillary's basement server and
Yeah. Yeah.
Willy Wonka's chocolate factory.
You just finished Wake Me When Someone Gets Perp Walked. I will be happy when we get back to considering the question of who tried to steal the government. I guess there's a piece now about whether Merrick Garland will charge him for both of those things or one or the other. I mean, that question's gone from will Merrick Garland prosecute him to for what crimes, if not all of them, will Merrick Garland prosecute? Meanwhile, my girl, Fannie Willis down in Georgia, is racking up those victories in court again. Although I am sorry that Kemp won't have to testify until after he loses to Stacey Abrams. Yes,
but I mean, she's if they haven't caught on yet that she means business, I don't know what to tell them.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I know a lot of our legal lads and ladies are saying that appears to be, well, I don't know if the one first up, it looks like. Yeah, that she's the farthest along, but dear God. Anyway, you, Elizabeth, you retweeted Senator Professor Warren bringing the law. She tweeted, Senator McConnell graduated from a school that cost $330 a year. Today it costs over $12,000. McConnell has done nothing to fix it and is irate that the president is stepping up to help millions of working Americans drowning in debt. He can spare us the lectures on fairness. this has been, God bless the White House too for being ready with the tweets about hypocrisy, about PPP loan forgiveness.
That new social media director already needs a raise.
Yes.
Right.
Because that was a wonderful day to follow on Twitter.
Right.
I mean, who knew? Did you know at the time that so many Republican legislators got PPP loans? I didn't.
No.
Yeah.
The most famous one, most famous PPP sheet that I know of is Brett Favre.
Yeah.
That got a lot of publicity. I didn't know all these other people.
Yeah.
Marjorie Taylor Greene got, a couple of $100,000 for what?
And she had her usual classy comeback, which was just telling the president to go to hell.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, for her CrossFit studio, what is she doing?
I believe she owns a construction company in Georgia.
Because she's Barney Rubble. Of course she owns
that. That is
with Mr. Slate.
Yeah.
St. Marge of the drywall.
They use her feet as hammers.
My favorite tweet was, I'll bet a Brontosaurus burger that Barney Rubble swatted herself. But anyway, well, we don't know yet. So, yeah, this is according to the New York Times, Garland may soon find himself praising an unprecedented historical first, charging a former president not once, but possibly twice with two separate criminal indictments unrelated to each other. The search that turned up the documents appears to be the front runner for criminal charges, but Garland may also have to consider what the House committee will eventually hand his DOJ. Katie Benner writes, it's still unclear how either case will play out. Prosecutors working on the investigation into Trump's handling of classified information are nowhere near making a recommendation to Garland. According to people with knowledge of the inquiry, court filings describe the work as continuing with the possibility of more witness interviews and other investigative steps to come. Dear God, how many more, again, shoes to drop, right? Just with that.
Well, I mean, I'm not entirely sure that there aren't still documents at Mar-a-Lago.
Well, that's what they're saying, that they think they still don't have them all.
And we haven't even talked about Bedminster yet.
Yeah.
Or the Tower. I mean, it's not like the guy has one place to live.
Right.
He's liable to have stashed them anywhere.
Yes, Avana's grave.
Beyond whatever he may have done, Elsie may have done.
Yes, Avana's grave.
Yeah, I mean, this is what is making the Republicans crazy. They have absolutely no solid ground under them anymore.
Isn't it that famous thing, Charlie, about lawyers never ask a question you don't know the answer to, and that's what they're doing. They're flying blind. Yeah.
They are absolutely in the position right now of not knowing the answers to the questions the country's asking. And they can't even make up good fakes.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's killing them. I mean, that plus, the orgy of bad Supreme Court decisions and, just the kind of general mood of the country, which is that, things are moving slowly, but at least they're moving again.
So the president is Thursday night going to speak about the continued battle for the soul of the nation. His approval rating has jumped up 6 points to 44%, places him above Trump, Obama, Clinton, Carter, and Reagan at this point in their presidencies. They say the president will lay out how America's standing in the world and its democracy are at stake. He will highlight what he sees as progress over the past 2 years to protect our democracy, but note that rights and freedoms remain at risk. It's interesting. Someone, who is this?
He's not going to say semi-fascist again. I am not watching the speech. I'm just saying that right now.
Yeah.
Well, it can't
hammer that because it clearly drives them crazy.
Right. Robert Costa said it's right after he said the semi-fascist thing, and as Steve Bannon keeps stoking talk of Christian nationalism and Trump calls for a new election to be held. I mean, he's calling for them to riot within the FBI. Lindsey Graham's calling for rioting in the streets, basically. I mean, I think this is going to be an important speech, but what do you think Biden can accomplish with it, or what do you think he will?
Well, I hope I mean, he's the president of the United States. He can bring the issue front and center.
Yeah.
Which is the best thing he can do right now. I mean, he can't exactly, they won't pass an election reform bill because I don't know why, but they won't, because the Democrats can't muster 60 votes on it. So, the best he can do is say, look at the dynamite these children are playing with.
Yeah.
Basically. I mean, that tweet yesterday, that lunatic or whatever they call that. What do they call them over there on Truth Social?
A truth social.
They call them truths?
I guess.
Truths. Yeah.
Okay. But that was crazy talk. Unless you realize that all it's meant to do is stoke the fire.
Yeah.
For whatever he wants them to do next.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's, and he's...
You're voting out there, Mom.
Yeah, but he's, I mean, he's obviously, and he was, I don't know what, it's not even retweeting, whatever it is, that Lindsey Graham saying people will riot. I mean, it's just, that's outward threatening.
He's also retweeting a bunch of QAnon nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it looks to me like he's preparing for something. Now, whether it'll come off or not, who knows?
Yeah.
But I don't think Merrick Garland put Timothy McVeigh in the death chamber. He's not going to get scared.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, and my understanding from our good friend Glenn Kirshner when I ran into him in Washington is that the people he's got working under him don't scare either.
Yeah.
They're all guys who put actual mobsters away.
Yeah. Yeah. No, good point. Good points. All right.
I mean, the only thing that could happen would, and by the way, can we lose the word unprecedented?
Yes.
Right,
Everything's
please.
unprecedented until it happens.
It's true.
Nixon resigning was unprecedented.
Yes.
Until it happened. Now it happened.
Yeah.
I mean, what? Electing a Catholic was unprecedented.
Yeah.
Until JFK got elected. Then it wasn't unprecedented anymore.
I don't think
took us
it's
a
the
long time
slam
to
they
elect
think it
another
is.
one, but-
I don't think it's the slam they think it is to say this is unprecedented
No, it's
to use
not.
the
It's-
Espionage Act. It's like, right, because we've never had a spy in the Oval Office. So, right, it's unprecedented.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
don't get me started on the Espionage Act because it's a terrible law that should be repealed or replaced, or both. But in any event, everything is unprecedented until it happens the first time.
Yes. Thank you, Charlie.
So we should all understand that.
All right.